He was so vigilant and butthurt in not being able to break down any of my arguments that he went and scrolled through my pictures, which this was posted at least 2 to 3 years ago. And he scrolled and scrolled and scrolled until he found something that he thought he had a gotcha moment by saying, "What facts are evidence of Hermetic Alchemy exactly?" It's cool, I'll wait. I appreciate you taking the time to go through my page on Facebook and scrolling because you so desperately needed something that you can say against me because you don't agree with my thought processes on your Bible and the facts that I present, and you can't argue the points that I make. But let me indulge you for a minute. So first, let me give you a basic understanding of Hermetic Alchemy. Hermetic Alchemy is basically the full understanding of how everything has frequency, everything has vibration, nothing dies. Everything is either in a low vibrational state or a high vibrational state. And being in those states determines where you are on the pole of whatever the thing is that you are focusing on. Your mental energies are based on frequencies. We know that you have mental frequencies that come out. We know your body vibrates. We know that it transmutes from one thing to another thing based on the vibration and the frequency which is imposed upon it. Now, to give you some examples and understanding of that, I'm going to show you 3 things. Now, one is very controversial with Masaru Emoto's experiments with water. And with his experiments with water in the hidden messages in water, he described in his experiments of how he was exposing water to different words, music, and thoughts. And in doing so, the water was then frozen and then different patterns were demonstrated or came out when it was done. And based on that, he is saying that water can change its molecular structure based on the frequencies that you put in it, based on the words, based on the music, and so on and so forth. He used heavy metal, classical music, jazz, all different types of music, Buddhist chanting, all these different things, and spoke to it as well to see exactly how it affected the water molecules. Now, he was heavily criticized in the American journals of science because he would not reveal to them all the stipulations of his experiments. Now, he's from Japan. He doesn't owe America anything. And I believe that majority of those scientists were just jealous because his book became a New York bestseller. But his experiments have not been duplicated by anyone else to my knowledge as far as utilizing water. So there is some scrutiny that you could add to Emoto's experiments. But there's a problem. You see that experiment demonstrates sympathetic resonance, meaning that if you have 2 frequencies that are exactly the same, that they are able to communicate with one another, and therefore when you are of like mind with someone, you have the ability to communicate better. When you are of opposing minds, you lack the ability to communicate with one another. It's kind of like when you have a thought and you and your wife are in similar thought and y'all say the same thing at the same time, or you and a friend, or y'all are thinking the same thing at the same time because you are resonating in harmony of frequency, of mental frequency with one another. So that experiment demonstrates exactly how that functions. Now I'm gonna show you another one, and there is some bullshit with this one. Now, the sand plate frequency experiment can be done by anyone. It doesn't take a whole lot. Pour some sand over a plate that will take on the vibration of whatever sound that you're emitting towards it. And what we see every time is that different frequencies create different patterns with the sand. Now, the bullshit in that one, it was a Christian who was trying to say that the 430 megahertz, the 432 hertz is the cross of Jesus. Are you serious? And the reason why he wants to say that about the 432 is because the 432 is the vibrational pattern of the earth. That's what the earth is said to vibrate at. And the 520 is when the earth is healing. It vibrates at 520 when it's healing. But what we can say is that although we don't know every aspect of it, we cannot fully understand why it happens and what the full implications are. What we do know is that through vibration and frequency, patterns are created, and those patterns dictate certain aspects of our lives. Whether we're communicating with someone, whether we're healing or grounding with the earth, any of those things, just as we have a magnetic field around us, when our magnetic field is centered with the earth, that's when people are grounding. It is the same way that we watch birds and other animals who sense danger or understand where to go to eat and feed and when and how to live their lives beyond just the instinctive nature. It is their frequency that they are connected to with the earth and other species of like kind because they are resonating with one another. So when you ask me about Hermetic Alchemy, it is the mere fact that everything vibrates, and through those vibrations, patterns are created. Through those patterns, if you begin to master them, you can master the patterns of your thoughts so that your thoughts emit words and actions that will move you into the right pattern of life. Most people, almost everyone actually, is walking around with some level of hypnotic rhythm, meaning you've been doing a pattern, thinking a certain way over and over again, living a certain way over and over again, eating a certain way over and over again, working a certain way over and over again. And that hypnotic rhythm has resulted in the vibrational state that your life is in. If you're eating unhealthy and not exercising, that's a low vibration. That means that you're going to have a low health pattern. If you are eating great, exercising, and watching the types of food you put into your system and fluids, then you tend to have a higher, healthier vibrational pattern. If you don't save money, if you spend more money than you make, you have a broke vibrational pattern. But if you know how to save and you know how to allocate your funds within a budget that fits you, you have a high financial vibrational pattern. So if you ask me about Hermetic Alchemy, the difference between that and your God and your Bible is that it can be measured, whereas your Bible lacks in measurement because there's no observable evidence of your God and of any of his past actions or any of his current actions. So thank you for digging through my Facebook. Thank you everybody for being here. And always remember, you have to free yourself to be yourself because your greatness is non-negotiable. Good journey, good vibrations.